Pro Group Racing presents Show Us Your Tips. It's Derby Day, Beaver. Many people tell me it's the best day of racing on the calendar, and it's pretty hard to argue when you see the card at Flemington. Excited?
100%. Yeah, 100%. Fantastic day ahead. Really looking forward to it. I think there's some winners out there that shouldn't be too easy to find. I think there's a fair few of these races that there looks to be a limited number of chances. So hopefully we can narrow it down for the punters and find a few winners.
Yeah, let's see how we go. Just quickly want to touch on any thoughts out of midweek racing. I don't think there's much to talk about. The average Canterbury card.
Yeah, it's pretty average card.
A lot of the ones expect to win at Canterbury did. And I just want to give a quick shout out, actually, if I can find it, to I think it was Elliot who wrote in and said thanks for the quaddie last week. He ended up making a monkey out of it. So good luck to you and well done. Yeah, only as good as your last tip or your last bet. So well done for jumping on, and hopefully you found something out of our tips, and hopefully we keep going. But it is Derby Days, Melbourne Cup week. We are ploughing through 4 shows in the next 7 days is the plan. So give us strength. We'll see how we go. We kick off at Flemington, Derby Day. The rail is true. The track is good. There's a bit of rain around lower in Victoria today. I don't think there's too much at Flemington. I think it's going to be a pretty much perfect racing, Beaver, which is exciting. So
fantastic. If we get a track that plays pretty fair and a couple of good days of racing ahead or a good week.
Yeah. So we kick off with the traditional Carbine Club over the mile, the Group 3 for the 3-year-olds at Flemington. You can open the batting here. What are you making of this?
Yeah, pretty keen on Fangirl here, Daggy. Been on a last couple of starts and thought both runs have been outstanding. They took it for an easy kill 2 starts back, which I think we all found, and then came out and franked that form. And now they've taken it off to Melbourne, suggest it's flying, and this is a pretty easy race for a horse of this quality, and expect it to be running very well.
I had a look at the 2 Wallers, which obviously were the places to start. I ended up coming back to Brigantine, who came through the Stan Fox, which the halal form stood up pretty well there. And chased well enough there. I think out to the mile will suit better. And Oliver going on was taking the stance that maybe the other stuff out wide with the 2 Waller horses wasn't as strong. But they're the other 2 in the game. And the good thing about Fangirl is it's not tainted by all the very average stuff in town with the 4 moves ahead form and all that pretty average 3-year-old form in town. So Fresh Blood is good here, but I was looking towards Brigantine. But yeah, the only 2 other chances I think are the 2 Waller horses. Race 2 is the Group 3 Hotham for the last chance into the Cup. What are you thinking here?
Look, doesn't matter which one of these wins this race and gets into the Cup. It's not going to make any difference. It's a pretty long tail here. I've kind of led to Great House purely because it's got the McDonald-Waller combination. It's past 3 starts have been pretty good, to finish 5 lengths off them in the Caulfield Cup. Run, finished 5th, given that the winner won by 3 or so. So it wasn't far off from there, to be brutally honest, outside of the winner. Ran a couple of lengths behind Montefilia and on week, and then won really well at Newcastle. So look, Great House is probably the clear horse in form here. The second favourite is getting a bit of a tag of a non-winner. And then you go out to the next horse being King's Charisma, who's over from Great Britain. Okay form there, but nothing too flash yet from its runs in Australia, but could be improved being 3rd up. But I think Great House is going the best of these.
Yeah, I begrudgingly came back to Great House. There's just no other form here. It's 5th in the Caulfield Cup. Finished alongside Persan, who we'd probably both have found in this race, let's be honest. And before that was solid enough in the Metrop. J-Mac goes on. We've already seen that J-Mac has a lap on some of these Melbourne jockeys. And I think I set out to get it beat and I couldn't get it beat. So I've come back to Great House on top. Probably should win this and head straight to the Cup, I suppose, where it's going to probably run a very nice 8th or something. The Group 3 Wakeful over the 2,000 metres for the fillies is race 3 on the card. We've got the Guineas form here. We've got the lead up through the Mokalua race here. What are you doing?
Yeah, interesting middle affair here. Plenty of chances, really open affair. Look, I've narrowed it down to 2. I'm going to forgive Kapalua Sunset last start. I think you just got to. Look, it was travelling in that race and they got back in its lap. And it pretty much gave up the ghost. Yeah, probably didn't show up for that. These young horses, they can do that. So I'm going to forgive it. If it won that race and was starting here, probably be odds on. So about the $10 mark. I think that's pretty good value for it. And I think you can't go past Yearning as well. So I thought Yearning was outstanding last start back in the field. Produced a great finish at Caulfield, 2005. No reason it can't run a nice race as well, but very open affair. But they're the 2 I've settled on.
I agree with you, but I sacked the Guineas form, so it left me with the Daisies race. You get Daisies back on top with Daisies Gate 1, J-Mac going on will run well here. So if I like that, then I have to naturally find Kapalua Sunset, who was spooked as the next Winks in that race and was heavily backed. Nothing went right. Ollie goes on. It's $10. It's drawn really well. And I think it can atone. I think it's a great bet. If you're on it last time, I think you get your money back here, at least in each way. And Daisies is very impressive, as I said. Happy to take on the rest because I don't think that Guineas form was all that strong. So happy to go be along for the ride with you there, Beaver. Race 4 is the Linlithgow Stakes over the 1,200 metre, the Group 2. I enjoyed doing this. I didn't know where to start with this race, but once I got my head around that, I just had to bin the whole lot of them. Then it was pretty easy. I was left with Oxy Road on top. It's slightly raced. Gets the other Mac down there, Blake McDougall, who is a very good jockey and hopefully starts making his name for himself down south. But it's pretty easy. Out of the lead-up race, Zatori's done nothing. Kementari's done nothing. Brooklyn Hustle might be gone. What's left? Oxy Road, fresh blood here. Easy to take it. I don't have much else to say here. What are you thinking?
Oh, look, I've landed on Oxley Road as well. I think it's going really well. You know what you're going to get here. It's going to be in the finish. It will finish in the top 3, so you're going to get a good sight for your money. I've landed on Oxley Road. Still very wary of Brooklyn Hustle. Got J-Mac on board. Didn't have a lot of luck last start. I know it's one of your horses, but yeah, I certainly am scared of Brooklyn Hustle here. It's a definite chance, but I landed on Oxley Road.
I just couldn't remember myself to does J-Mac just ride the first 4 was what I was starting to get concerned about. So that's why I went away from it as well. But she's a bit of a flighty thing, Brooklyn Hustle, so maybe I'm quicker to sack mares than other horses. To my detriment, as we'll talk about right now, with the first of the Group 1s in the card, the Mile Empire Rose, which I found an impossible task here, Beaver. Do you have anything?
Oh, how good a race is it?
It's incredible.
It's an incredible race.
Tell me which horse can't win.
I can't tell you a horse that can't win the race. Even they're taking Kiku down south. Harmony Rose is 50s. Steinem was very good last start. It's 30s. Sierra Sue. I can't believe the price of Sierra Sue.
Yeah.
It's 30 to 1.
Yeah, I know.
So
I guess what we're saying is the one horse that I don't think can win, the favourite. I'll take on Tafani.
Yeah, you probably could. So outstanding. But I did have to find something to tip. Colette was really good last start.
Yeah. And that track was drier than people think, I think.
Yeah, it was very good last start. And I know it's fruit as a wet tracker, but I really liked the way it won. It was in desperate need of the run. Once it wound up and hit the line, I thought it was pretty good, and I think it's well suited to the Flemington track. I think it, and I also so that definitely Flying Mascot. Just last start.
Well, Flying Mascot down the weights comes here. Well, I say down the weights, down on the 4-year-old mare's weight, but gets Blake McDougall's 7-day backup. Was very impressive last time. But you go through this. You got Steinem and Hungry Heart. The Frankels don't go in the wet, get a dry track. We've seen that form stack up. You've got Sierra Sue, who's won a Group 1 this prep. Colette was great last start. Harmony Rose showed something last start, I thought, but then was beaten by Cirillo Miss. You tie them all together. Mirror Vision has put a few together. My answer is field in the early quaddie and hope for the best. Hope one at, or if you like one, back one at 30s. Don't be scared, honestly. Don't be scared to have a bet on one here at 20s or 30s because every horse can win this race. I think I can't remember a trickier race in the time we've been doing this show.
I agree with that. A trickier race with good quality horses.
Absolutely, and that's right. Not we're not talking about benchmark 64s. We're talking about Group 1 fields. So excited to see what happens. I think if you were to run it 10 times, you'd find 8 different winners. So let's get on to the Derby, though, over the 2,500 for the 3-year-olds. What are you doing here?
Yeah, another nice race here. Look, I'm just going for Gunstock, a little bit fresher. I think it's just worked into its preparation very nicely. I think it's been set perfectly for this race. Gate 19 is a little bit of a worry, but I'm hoping it gets a few people here to.
Hey, buddy. All right, going back to the Derby there, Beaver.
Do you know that bloke?
No idea.
Oh, what was he?
Have a clue.
What was he coming over for?
He thought I was a DJ about to play music.
The sooner he gets that tooth back in, you might be able to understand him.
Jesus, didn't expect that. Usually it's quite happy. All right, let's start again. The Derby, Beaver. Yeah, you go. What do you like in a Derby?
Yeah, look, it's a pretty good race. The Derby, obviously, none of these horses have been out to this distance. So yeah, there's a few always going backwards when some others are going forwards, and getting a guide on what that will be is always a little bit tricky. Look, I've landed on the favourite Gunstock. I just think its preparation here has been spot on. It looks like it'll handle the distance. Just keeps improving with each run. So I'm going to go for Gunstock as long as it can get some kind of position from the 19 gate. Obviously, that's a little bit of a concern. We're at a position after. Forgot you. Well, you can't forget it. It's going extremely well. It's a fantastic run last night. A long way up. I'm a little bit concerned how much that might have taken out of it. It was a pretty tricky. The other thing, Commander Harry or whatever it was, took off early, and it had to chase from a long way out. And I'm just might have sucked a little bit out of it. So that's why I'm going for Gunstock. It's just that little bit fresher. And then I think, looking lower down in the market, I think both Cerberus from the Freedman stable. I think it's shown a little bit of a and could be smoky at some odds over from Orfordville.
Very good. I think it feels like Forgot You's got momentum here. It's coming off the 7-day back up. The win last week, it wasn't as brutal on the clock as it appeared to the eye. And I think it's coming here with plenty to offer. On the 10-year anniversary of another Savabeel Colt and Sangster winning this same race. And the Waikato Studbreds are just flying at the moment, so I'm scared to tip against him. But Forgot You, is here to win, but there's so much this race. You mentioned Gunstock. You've met Tutakaka was a tremendous staying lead up, I thought, in the Geelong Classic, and now gets J-Mac. At least has had the run over 22 and put in some good staying efforts in Queensland. Allegron has G1 form, and Akihiro in that on the 7-day backup from the Forgot You race. I thought it was pretty good on pace, stuck on really well. And sometimes in these derbies, you get some of these horses failing to pick their feet up after the 2,000 meter mark, and you never know. So, Forgot You on top. I respect everything about Gunstock, but I think this is a wider race than that I'm happy to stamp as usual. So, very excited to see this one too. And I'll give a shout out now because we've one to come later. Good friend of the show, I mentioned her a bit, but Carol and Jason, they've supported us since day one. Tomorrow she's got Exo Boom running for whatever, $12 million. Akihiro here and Harmony Rose as well. She's had a pretty good run lately, so good luck to all of that crew, and I hope they have some success throughout the day. But we get to race 7, where hopefully we have some success in the Group 1 Coolmore Stud Stakes. 16 Colts, I believe, and a filly in up the straights. Beaver, what are you thinking?
Yeah, another really cracking race, this one. Plenty of chances. Some really, really good horses here. Again, some of these horses fly. I'm a big fan of Extreme Warrior. Loved the way it finished off last start. It went past Profiteer like it was nailed to the ground and put a big space in him. I think it's got to be the hardest to beat. Paul is a horse that I've got a really high regard for. It could have been 4 out of 4 this. It's a quality horse. I think it's the hardest to beat. And the other one that I think you've got to have a little bit on is down in as the roughie in the race is Marine One at $35, number 14. Won really well last start at Moonee Valley. I know I used to stable. I've got a huge opinion of this horse, and they think it's of high quality. So if you want to have a little bit of value in this race, I wouldn't be leaving it out. And the way it wound up and hit the line last start could be one to watch.
Geez, those colours are having a good run.
Yeah.
So I was looking towards. I went all the way around the world here and came back to the Sydney form. In the Congo, did beat Animo. It will bounce on the pace, outside gate there. Williams will get it in its comfort zone on the outside fence, and it'll give you a very good sight. From the 2 Godolphin horses, Polile and Grey Shading, they both should have been the Everest, in my opinion. These are better horses than Trekking and those sort of horses, at least at this stage of life. And they will give you a sight at the price. Grey Shading ran 3rd in the Manicato, which, had a knock on, but Clear Air, it's got a big finish and might be the forgotten horse. It was 20s when I did the form last night.
Yep.
And they're the ones for me, and absolutely respect the Fresh Blood and Extreme Warrior. But another ripper on Derby Day. The Group 1 Kennedy Cantala Mile is race number 8. And again, this is a cracker as well. I've thrown you under the bus a few times, so I'll lead away here. I was looking towards Superstorm, $12 again, gets Damien Oliver now. Outside gate, I believe 13 or 14 in the last sort of 15 races, the 15 editions of this race have been outside gates or gates from double figures or more. Superstorm fits that bill. So it's $12. It's Chase Tome Zaki and then Chase Tome I'm Thunderstruck. I'm sure we'll talk about very shortly. Happy to be involved with it here, as well as why can't Ice Bath do the same thing it did last week? It counted in last week. Comes down south if it handles the trip down, I think is a real chance. And again, it's a price. I can see, I sort of can and can't see why Brightside's favourite, but do I want to really back it in this sort of field where it's going to have to find a fence and hold off a big handicap field? Not really. So, yeah, I was looking for the couple of double figures there. What are you thinking, Beaver?
Yeah, really, really, really tricky race. Look, I've gone for Chalet. I think they might run along quite nicely and set up a bit of pace in the race. Flemington certainly suits his horse. We know finish.
Here's Bruce, another one for the Daggy at the Colonial Hotel.
It's 1-3 from 5. So I think it's certainly hard to beat. And the next danger is Mr. Brightside. Thanks.
What's that?
It's on the hat there. Some other.
Whose idea was it for me to come to the pub and do this?
So yeah, Chalet for me on top. Mr. Brightside, I'm just frightened of. There's no horse going better than it at the moment. Everything it gets put in, it keeps winning. It keeps measuring up to whatever's thrown at it. It beat Wicklow Town last start, and Wicklow Town came out and won after that. But you're right, it's probably going to have to hold off some really big finishes here. Some interesting form, but River's going to make sure that there's a genuine pace in the race, and Chalet for me.
And we wrap up the day with the Furphy Sprint up this straight, 1,100 metres for the 4-year-old plus mares. How are you taking us home on Derby Day?
Yeah, another super tricky race here. Plenty of chances. Again, you could find 10 horses in this race that can genuinely win this race. I've gone for Menage. I thought it was first up. Really liked its win. Hoping it can gain. I think it'll more improve from that. Jay Mack aboard again. That gives that little extra. So happy to back it. And I think if you're looking for some things at odds, Written Beauty and Talia, I think they can both run well as well, being third up.
Yeah, I found Menage as well. That was a very, very good win first up for O'Shea. Comes down here, gets a favourable draw, gets J-Mac, who might well ride 5 winners down here tomorrow, and has a lot in her favour. So on top for me. From there, Bless Her is going well, but now needs to win. And I thought Dirty Thoughts, who's a horse I haven't found a lot. You found more than I have, but she's fine and stacks up here. I think it'll run really well. So, yeah, that's the way I'll finish the day. We have to, our quaddies have been going quite well, Beaver. Should I give you the honour of the famous Derby Day quaddie? This could be anything.
So you're so kind.
No pressure.
You're so kind. Let me have a crack here, mate.
Go on. Go for it.
In the Derby, I'm going to go numbers 1, 2, 4.
Yep.
10 and 20.
We're at a gay lighting. Okay. Yep. Keep going. Yep. The Coolmore.
In the second leg, I'm going to go number 3, 4, 6, 9, 14.
So leaving Artorias out?
Yep.
Cool. All right.
In the third leg, I'm going to go number 3, 7, 11, 14. And I'm going to chuck in number 2 as well.
Yeah, cool.
And to finish off, I'm going to go numbers 3, 5, 7, 9, and 14.
Beautiful. For progretracing.com.au, who we may no longer be employed for after tonight. Your best in value at Flemington.
Yeah. What am I going to? I'm going to make my best bet. You might not like this, but I'm going race 6, number 4, Gunstock in the Derby.
Okay. No, cool.
That'll be my best bet of the day. And my value bet of the day is going to be race 5, number 1, Colette.
Very good. I like it. My best, I struggled. I went up and down the card and struggled because I'm just excited to take odds in every race. I'm coming to Menard. I think Menard will run well for J-Mac. My best bet might be J-Mac on the card. Just back him throughout the day. And I made my value Superstorm, who will run well, I think, in the mile there. Pretty good backup program as well with the, whatever it is, $7.7 million Golden Eagle card at Rose Hill, where there's been no rain around. We've got good track racing, and the rail is in the true as well. Treated this as I can only treat it as fair, but I'm thinking let's be careful of on pace. It is Rose Hill, so we'll watch for that. We kick off with the 1200 meter fillies and mares 78, where I'll lead the day. Well, I'll lead it away here. There's only two hopes in this race, and they lead the market, Catalan and Silverose. Silverose goes forward, gets control here, but interesting that Nash has sided with Catalan first up off a couple of good trials. So I've gone that way, but I think two bets if we can stake it to get something out of this race. They're the two I'll play. Cattle on top just from jockey change, but just a word of warning, I might find Nash riding 8 winners for the rest of this card the way it looks. What are you thinking, Beaver?
Yeah, I think Catalan looks a very hard horse to beat in this. Finished 5th last run before it was sent out. That was a heavy track, and there was excuses there being on the heavy. Before that one first up, it's got a good first up form. Trialled very well for this. This is a pretty weak affair. This is a midweek race, really, and Catalan's got it's a weekend horse, so it should be hard to beat.
Race 2 is the 1900 meter benchmark 78. That's it, as my page refreshes here. Again, two chances. Are you with the market, Beaver?
Yeah, I think you're right. There is only two chances in this. Similarly, Mighty Beal and Solar Apex is going really well as well. I just went for the value in Solar Apex. It chased home Yee last start, which I think was possibly a little bit better form for a race.
And was set a big task in that race.
It was set a big task in that race. It gets the 2 kilo pulling the weights off Mighty Beal. It ran well, but I'm just going to go that Solar Apex might get the sit here and be too strong.
I went the other way just because J-Mac off to Tommy Berry. He's probably going to be back in the field as well. Hugh Bowman on Mighty Beal, I think, arguably a jockey change there for Glenn. And I think they're the only two. But Mighty Beal was I thought it's been impressive the last two. And I was a semi-doubter at the start of this prep. So happy to stick. Not saying a lot because obviously they're the only two in the market. But we'll see what we get out of this. Again, another, Savabeel winner on the day. We get to the highway race 3. You've got anything here?
Not
Hey, hang on. Yeah, you want to say it? No?
No.
Okay, keep going.
I'm not going to allow you to sound that alarm that you're about to press.
What alarm? The Massara alarm?
Yeah. No, not allowing you, not having a tip here, mate.
All right, race 4, the 4 pillars, the richest benchmark 68 in the world, 700,000. Did you have anything? Could you find anything here?
Look, I think there's probably only two main chances here as well. Different Strokes and Darlena Bell look to be the main two chances here. They got the winning form. Neither have been out of place this preparation. I've just switched to Darlena Bell at the $6.50. I think it's drawn a little bit better in the 6. The other one's on the fence. Only just got beat last start and didn't have a lot of luck. I think
dry suits. I know deep fields tend to go right in the wet, but I think it feels like dry will suit it better too.
Yeah, I think so. And it was long odds on last start and didn't win, but I think it'll be better suited here. And I'm going to go. It's at the $6.50.
Yeah, I think the other two. I've gone the other way, different strokes. Bowman going on, bolted in midway last start, and run well. A couple of odds here for your multiples. All Machiavellian has been flying. Beat Donata last start, who ran well last week. And I know it's a maiden, but Verbeck's been running in some okay stuff and might give you a sight. So they're the couple away from what you've said, just for for your trifectas and first fours, but they're both 30s or 40s, and throw them in. But I think the big two are the ones you've mentioned.
Yeah, I think that can improve and give a decent start as well.
Race 5 is the Rose Hill Gold Cup. Think It Over is back with Nash, and we get this Cox Plate horse here in Gold Trip turning up. What are you going to do?
Pretty tricky, hey, because I know they were pretty keen on Gold Trip in the Cox Plate.
Well, there's mail around saying that was the better horse at some point, wasn't there?
Yeah. So Think It Over's had a little pretty hard preparation, but it's so reliable here. It's going to take up a position in the running. It's going to be super hard to beat here. I think probably $2.90 is probably a reasonably good price, to be honest. Gold Trip, you're just specking. It's supposed to start Cox Plate, scratch. They've obviously brought it here as a second option. So it'll be interesting to see how it runs, but Think It Over for me.
I would think it over just from the pace point of view. And I think that Nash can do what he wants. He can probably just lob straight wherever he wants, and then they'll jiggy dog for a long time. And Nash is the best at just putting his boot in when it needs to and stealing a break. So I've gone that way. But if Gold Trip came out and won by 4, well, yeah, it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't fall off my seat. So they're the only two. I to be honest, didn't look at the rest of the race. So there it is. Race 6 is the $1 Million Classique Legend over 1,300 meters. With we see all the Everest runners up meeting again. What are you doing here?
Look, hard to go past Masked Crusader, given its last start run. It was outstanding. It's going to get back in the field. There's going to be pace on again here. Big parades in the race. It'll make sure it's fairly run. Assuming it gets a run at the right time. Gate 5's pretty good. Draw. Again, I don't see too many chances given the form outside of Masked Crusader and Eduardo. I think Eduardo is probably going to hit the front at some stage, and Masked Crusader is going to be flying home.
Yeah, I started the race just wanting to find Eduardo, but Big Parade is such a fly in the ointment. It left me with Masked Crusader on top. Depends how dry the track is probably the other concern. So Masked Crusader, I think they're the main two. Again, as the market says, the two away from that are going quite well in the dry tackle. Well, the one that is going really well on the dry tackle shoot is Standout. And the Forgotten Horse series, Dawn Passage, trialled well again. Always produces one of these knockout runs. So it might be one just for your early quaddie again. But Masked Crusader from Eduardo is the obvious, and that's the way I'll play the race. The $7.5 million Golden Eagle for the 4-year-olds is race 7, where look, I've got I'm Thunderstruck on top. It feels to me it's the Group 1 horse in this race. Coming off the win there, I've already talked about how we'll get a line and form through Superstorm earlier. Bowman going on. I like the draw for this because if we're running on for these bigger races, he can pick his spot and have a crack. And away from that, the other two I found, I think Apache Chase is going to give you a sight. It's a good horse and maybe an underrated horse, but it is in the market. And Ellsberg is a live chance. Interesting that Nash has gone to Private Eye from it, but it feels to me Ellsberg is one of the more genuine horses in this race. Exo Boom on the quick backup, hopefully will run well, and Private Eye did win the Epsom, so you have to give it a chance. But that's the way I've lined them up in that order. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I've landed on Thunderstruck. It's just going fantastic at the moment. It's flying. It's a horse on the way up. I think it's definitely the best horse in this race. I thought Ellsberg as well. I like the draw. It's going to push forward. It's going to get it's either take up the lead or it's going to sit behind the leader's back. It's going to be able to pop out and give you a super bold sight, I think, in the race. I'll certainly be saving on Ellsberg. But I'm Thunderstruck. Your Private Eye, I just think Gate 17 is going to have to go back to last. So it's going to have to come from last again in this field. Certainly capable enough, but I don't think I want to be giving on Thunderstruck too much start.
Well, it's funny. If Nash was on Ellsberg, I'd almost declare it a good thing. But given it as a private eye and going to be out the back, I don't want to touch it. It's funny how it all works, I suppose, Beaver. The 1100 meter benchmark 78. We come home with some average stuff to finish today. What are you doing here?
I thought Delexo was really good last start. It was one I think we talked about it earlier. It was one of the easiest watches you'll ever see when it won last start. One easy, untouched. I think he is going to be super hard to beat. It's going to go up onto the pace and give them something to chase. So, yeah, Delexo for me, really hard to beat. On the lay, it is very consistent. It doesn't run a bad race, and it'll certainly be chasing in the end. But Delexo for me.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to bounce straight to the front. It's going to take control. I'll have a northern. Thanks, Jeffrey. Yes. Yeah. And yeah, I don't think there's any chases here. The only one I found some interest in is Fox Fighter back in distance. Maybe didn't go 1100, didn't suit, back in distance, and did beat Delexo first up. So there it is. Happy to play the race that way. Race 9 is a 1500 meter 78 as well. I haven't seen any scratchings yet. Brookspire and Mar and Pa head the field. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, look, I think Brookspire is one of the best bets under the card, to be brutally honest. Third up here, won really well when fresh at the Kenzo on the heavy track, but was well found in the market and won quite convincingly. And then even last start, I don't think it was disappointing. It finished fifth. It was only less than 2 lengths off them and didn't have a lot of luck in that. So I think Brookspire, this is a pretty weak affair here. There's not much in this race. Mar and Pa, it's going okay. An Equation probably hasn't shown its best this preparation. So Brookspire for me.
I went Mar and Pa just in that I thought Bowman's just coming off picking up a cool 750K and might be a little bit excited. So might be a chance for Nash to pop straight to the lead on Mar and Pa and steal one here. He's usually good fat throughout the day. From Brookspire, and that's the only 2 chances and everything too. I'll even mention in this race. Race 10 is a benchmark 78 over 1,300 meters. I'm assuming April Rain is scratched or will be scratched, given it's gate 15 and no jockey.
Yeah, hasn't been scratched yet.
Yeah, so no jockey.
There's 5 scratchings already come out, which would see it come in full barriers. So they come into gate 11.
Okay, you're having a look now. I was with Zushak again. Nash, who I seem to have found all the way through. Outside gate, he's going to go straight to the front here, and if he misses the 750, he might have rode 7 winners on this card and felt pretty good about himself. Because now there's not much other pace here, and from the outside gate, he might do his trick that he does last of the day, straight to the front, and off you go. Zushak. April Rain, tremendous return. We've seen that form stack up through Quantico. If it gets a rider and a run, it's in the race, but I've treated it as a scratching. So after that, I don't really want to talk a lot about anything else here. I'll mention my quarter numbers when we get to that. What do you think, Beaver?
Oh, no, I'm going April Rain. I'm hoping it starts here. I think it's be super hard to beat. Ran a great second behind Quantico, who's come out and won very impressively. I'm not worried about the pace, to be honest. Zushak will go forward. If it doesn't lead, he's going to make sure there's plenty of pace on. I think that'll help April Rain. It'll get somewhere back in the field and get some cover and finish over the top of it.
Yeah, he might pick up. I'm just looking now. Might pick up Josh Parr or even Jenny Duggan could pick up again. So anyway, that is our look at Rose Hill. I'm in charge of the quaddie, and so I'll see what we do here. Now I'll give him a touch up. I just want to put my quaddie numbers in so I can turn the TV off. Get in that, mate. The quaddie, race 7, 1, 2, 4, 8, 9, 11, 13, and 18. Race 8 is, I'm coming out to 6 and 12. Race 9, 4 and 5. And coming home with 1, 4, 5, 11. And we'll throw Dancing Gidget in, 7 as well. For progressracing.com.au, your best bets at Rosehill.
This bet comes up in race 9, number 4, Brooksby. And my value bet comes up in race 4, number 11, Darrelina Bell.
Very good. I'm going to make my best Delexo in the sprint there. And my value on a tree day for value, I'll make it all Machiavellian in the 4 pillars at the 40s, whatever it is right now. Quick one here before I get to the King North race. Morpheville race 7, number 9, Rock the Ring. I think will run really well. And what do you got for us up north?
Yeah, race 4, number 4, Refero. It's going to be super hard to beat. And then my other bets come up later in the day. I've got, I've lost them. Race 9, number 2, Phaistos. I think it's resuming up in Eagle Farm. I think it's going to be hard to beat and present some good value. And in the last race 10, number 5, Polenka. I think it presents good value as well.
Very good. Thank you, Beaver. Wish me luck on editing whatever the hell we just did then and make it into a cohesive show. But I'll earn my money this evening. Thanks for joining us, Beav. And I will see you Sunday for our Melbourne Cup preview. So we're going to do a comprehensive Melbourne Cup chat with Barney, who joined us last year, 12 months ago, to go through all the runners in the Melbourne Cup. Plus, we'll do our full preview of the card. And then we've got Oaks Day and Stakes Day coming up. So big week ahead. Looking forward to all good punning punters. And we will talk to you all very shortly. Catch you soon, guys.